Hello, everyone. This is your Love and Finance Tarot Guidance for the month of October 2023. If you are interested in long-range readings such as this, including new and full moons, your sun sign, weekly and yearly tarot guidance, then you might consider a subscription package available through my website, the Patreon app, or by joining my YouTube channel. October is a month which will help to usher in necessary change. As the month begins, we are in the early days of an eclipse season, which started back on September 29th at the Aries full moon. While the North Node is currently in Aries, it was not an eclipse. Mercury went direct on September 15th and will be moving into Libra on the 4th after its extended stay in the sign of Virgo. It will remain there until October 22nd. Likewise for Venus, as it now continues its journey, finally clearing its post-shadow phase on October 7th, then leaving Leo on October 8th and spending time in Virgo until November 8th. Pluto finally goes direct on the 10th, bringing forth the transformation which has been brewing from the inside out in recent months. Mars goes home to Scorpio, a place it has not been for 2 years, October 12th, and will remain there through November 24th. This is a take no prisoners type of energy, and there will be no wishy-washy behavior accepted here. The first of 2 eclipses of the season happens on the 14th as a new moon annular solar eclipse, 21 degrees Libra. It will be conjunct Mercury, perhaps affecting accord in partnerships and negotiations. There is a more pleasant social atmosphere around this one, so do be certain to listen to my new moon tarot guidance for the complete heads up. With Mercury now whizzing right along, it will be in Scorpio from October 22nd through November 10th. Watch out for that sting. The Sun enters Scorpio on the 23rd and does not leave until November 22nd. Many fear the intensity of Scorpio energy, but it is all about death, rebirth, and transformation, and this is a time when you can shed so much and rise again like the phoenix. The second eclipse of this season shows up on October 28th, and it is the final Taurus eclipse for another 9 years. It will be a full moon lunar eclipse at 5 degrees Taurus. The moon is exalted in Taurus, and this will be quite a powerful time for you. Be sure to listen to my tarot guidance for this full moon. As for aspects, October kicks off with an opposition between Mercury and Neptune, both in their home signs. This one can cause some problems, especially within close relationships. Perceptions of both thought and word can become distorted now, which is the stuff of which huge misunderstandings are often made. Allow a few days for the fog to clear before hurling any unfounded accusations. Things are not likely as they seem. Some people are apt to be more impressionable, leading them down a rabbit hole of mistrust and illusion. The less said, the better, but what must be said should be done with carefully thought out words. If it is not words which become the illusory problem, it will be the mind itself, convincing some of things which could not be further from the truth. Use this time to work on your more creative projects, and you will find the mind comes up with some fantastical ideas, making this a much better use of this aspect. Also on the 2nd, there will be a trine between a direct Venus in Leo and the North Node in Aries. If you are looking for assistance to reach your goals, financially or love-wise, then this is your transit. Venus wants you to have all of the nice things, those which bring you pleasure and increase your self-worth and bottom line. There is a somewhat softer side here, and the gains do not come through aggression, as they might with Mars. They are more a thing of beauty. The North Node will indicate a new direction, which you are about to take for the attainment of these goals. Mercury trines Pluto on the 3rd. Whichever end of this transit you find yourself on, it can leave a huge impact on your life. Conversations, meaningful ones, can bring more than transformation. They can help you achieve something which you desire. There may be some smooth talkers out there, the type who seemingly know what you are thinking and how to convince you to do their bidding. Be involved in all communications and be certain to get what you want out of it. There is no better time to ask than the present. On the 4th, Mars will oppose the North Node. Mars deals with energy, passion, aggression, and courage, and how you express these at this time could cause more harm than good. Everyone wants to see their agenda in place, and this creates conflict as to the course of direction. Mars and Pluto will square off October 8th. Power and domination rule the day here, and knowing your role in all of it could prove to be to your benefit. There are power struggles, indicating those in power will definitely have the upper hand now. You may wish to increase your power and stop at nothing to get it. There is the possibility of others who wish to dominate. You do not need to be overly aggressive about things in order to pursue your goals, and being confrontational to those who have more power and authority than you will definitely not work to your advantage. Do your best to avoid the confrontations now, as the odds are not stacked in your favor. Venus opposes Saturn on the 10th. The two major things which can make people feel sad are affected here, that being love and money. Should you find yourself not feeling very social and concerned about either or both of these, then this would be why. Remembering that it is energy and that it will pass is key. However, in its passing, that does not provide a guarantee that things will fix themselves. Saturn wants you to put in the work. If finances are an issue and there is a mountain of debt, this is the time to come up with a plan for paying down the balance owed. Should your closest relationships be causing you problems, ask yourself how you are contributing to them. It may be necessary to do some reflecting on these things and make changes. On the 11th, the Sun will oppose Chiron. This is not a pleasant aspect in that it showcases pain, both physical and emotional and mental, showing that which longs to be healed. There can be a lack of confidence due to the Sun being in this aspect. This type of feeling can lead to some depressing moments, perhaps because hope is lost temporarily, but it is best to remember that this is energy and it does not last. 13th brings a trine between Mars at home in Scorpio and Saturn in Pisces at 0 degrees. New beginnings and fresh starts are afoot here. Mars provides the passion, courage, and the necessary drive in order to get the job done, while Saturn brings the discipline necessary to complete a difficult task. Saturn wants to help you to put positive influences into place in your life for the long term, and to do them in a manner which is not costly to you and suits your budget as well. You can accomplish great things here, perhaps ones which had seemed daunting to you in the past, and now you find you can apply yourself with a more determined focus. Mercury opposes Chiron on October 14th. Life's most difficult relationships can be highlighted now, with Mercury in peace-loving Libra and Chiron, the wounded healer, in Aries. Remember that Mercury is thought and communication and can perhaps help to open the dialogue in a damaged partnership of any kind in order to effect proper healing. The possibility of negotiating a peaceful settlement where there has been a long rift is not out of the question, but as in everything else, it takes two to make any partnership relationship work. The Sun opposes the North Node on the 18th. Ego will need to be set aside for this one, whether it be sacrificing for the greater good or obstacles preventing you from the spotlight you feel you deserve. This is not a time for recognition. Mercury will oppose the North Node October 19th. It is possible to be totally on the right track with your thoughts, communications, and direction, but lacking in timing, which is does not tend to bring the desired results. Having an idea you wish to share with the world can be exciting, but whether or not it is well received remains to be seen. You could wind up feeling you are not getting your point across to your intended audience. Either you are ahead of your time, or you are going to need to rethink your approach. A misunderstood mercurial action can be quite frustrating. On the 20th, the Sun will conjunct Mercury, also known as a Mercury cazimi, meaning in the heart of the Sun. Sun conjunct Mercury is the best possible aspect for communications and thinking. Mentally, this can be a very busy day for you, allowing you to clear your desk and maintain the mental focus needed to see projects through to completion. It is also a good day for running all of those errands you have been putting off, comprising short trips all over town. You may find yourself feeling chattier than usual, but this is because you are able to think clearer. Keep an ear open for news, which could come your way now. Mercury will also form a square with Pluto on this date. The quest for information can easily lead you to dangerous places should you allow yourself to be prone to conspiracy theories. Research is not something to be done on YouTube, and it is in your best interest to find reliable, verified sources. This is a forceful transit with some who would have you believe their information, attempting to coerce you into believing extreme ideas. Do not go down that road, and do not try to push any extreme ideas on others. This transit can lead to a search for the truth, including research if necessary. There is a tendency here to be extreme, to want to state your opinion too loudly and be insistent that others listen. Chances are they will not, which may only drive you to try harder to get them to listen. In this era of fake news around every corner, do be sure that, as the messenger, your message is on point, and that as the receiver of info, you are not falling prey to misinformation and conspiracy theories. The 21st brings a square between the Sun and Pluto. This is a rather intense transit, one which can be challenging when it comes to being in control. Authority figures may have the upper hand, and the outcomes can be influenced by some rather self-destructing behavior, especially on your part if you are not getting the control which you seek. When the Sun is involved in such an aspect, egos are front and center, and Pluto is right there exacerbating the conflicts which arise. Working through the issues of control is possible, but first you must be able to overcome the challenges, perhaps by relinquishing power. On the 22nd, Venus trines Jupiter. This is one of the most favorable transits, bringing in abundance of good cheer, optimism, love, and good fortune. And the best thing you can do for yourself is to be yourself. Go ahead, see who it attracts. You will never know until you give it a try. As it is such a feel-good vibe, while Venus is trying Jupiter, dating, shopping, and socializing are all favored. Even if something offered at this time is not what you had on your radar, do not turn it down simply because it does not fit with your agenda. It might turn out to be the most perfect choice you ever made. Also on the 22nd, Mercury will trine Saturn. If you have been trying to get into the right headspace to tackle something which really requires your undivided attention and focus to reach your goal, then this is your aspect. Saturn is serious about making the right decisions, especially those which can sustain you for the long term. So use this transit to really apply yourself to the task at hand. Be sure to read for all surrounding aspects so as not to have any interfering influence, and consider this your green light to sign any important documents and contracts. Where Saturn is concerned, there can also be matters involving family, including estate planning, dealing with elders, or even as an elder, dealing with someone younger. who needs your advice. What you accomplish under this transit will have staying power, so do not let this one go to waste. October 24th, the Sun trines Saturn at 0 degrees. If you have been putting in the work whenever Saturn challenges you to learn a lesson, then it could very well be time to reap the rewards. Not all Saturn transits are gloomy and depressing, or stressful even, and this one could be most enjoyable. Sun tends to put you in the spotlight, showing you favor, and your goals may finally feel as if they are attainable. This is definitely a reap what you sow type of transit, and you are poised to gain marvelous things if you have truly been putting forth the effort. Hopefully this makes all of the hardships you have endured worthwhile, so as to never repeat them again in this lifetime. You have much to teach others, which you have learned through your experiences. Mars opposes Jupiter October 28th. As far as oppositions go, they have a tendency to create relationship difficulties, but this one can prove to be a very positive aspect for you. It is the best opposition possible, fueling you with optimism, drive, confidence, and a desire to come out on top and be a winner. You could be very lucky during this transit, taking chances, but there can be a double-edged sword to this one should you overdo in any way. Do your best to remain humble as you strive for success in all you do. Mercury will also oppose Jupiter on this day as well. This can be a really big transit, but do utilize it wisely and be effective. It is important to pay attention to the finer details of all your grand plans and ideas. Jupiter is expansive and tends to skip over the details, but if you can put a viable plan into place right now, there's a great deal of optimism available. If you have a number of plans on the table, it may be a good idea to shelve a few until a later date. Remain humble in all you do, and while confidence is good, too much confidence and an air of cockiness can knock you right off your pedestal. Scaling down your expectations and not biting off more than you can chew can actually lead to some success. Mercury and Mars will come together October 29th. It provides quick thinking and decision making, but it is important to be aware of your responses. The mind is sharp now, but the tongue could be even sharper. It would be easy to project any resentment or anger onto the first person with whom you cross paths. Arguments are possible to come easy now, and some people could appear to be very rude. Finding a productive outlet for this energy would be most helpful. We end the month with a trine between Venus and Uranus. If you are looking for a new love, it can turn up completely out of the blue. Someone totally different could be just what your life needs at the moment. However, you cannot count on it lasting. Should you already be in a committed relationship, then shaking up routines is definitely in order, so as to keep things fresh and exciting. This is a social transit, and freedom seekers everywhere will surely be out among the fray. Venus is, of course, also associated with money, and Uranus may bring some your way right when you least expect it. Remember, easy breezy September? We only had 12 major aspects. This month there are 22, and some could prove to be difficult, but there are also some which are really, really nice, and fewer retrogrades, and an eclipse season, which I am loving. This is an interesting month for sure, and I think it's going to turn out to be a very key month for so many people. Whenever we see an eclipse season going on, and without as many of, we don't have any personal planet retrogrades happening, there's no telling what can transpire, all right? I definitely feel that it will be change, some major transformation, and it is taking place with a great deal of Scorpio energy available in here as well. All right, so there's a lot which is happening. Not all of it, you're looking at the cards. Not all of it appears to be easy, but at the same time, I think the freedom that you seek, where you have felt so, like, I'm trying, I'm just not getting anywhere with this kind of feeling. All right, that type of thing. It's like, huh, it's going to happen. All right, it's definitely going to happen. There's this sense of wanting to, I don't want to say not be found out, but you know how you get the feeling sometimes that maybe it's best to just kind of be low key and not share with everybody what's happening at this point. It's okay, all right? I think it avoids conflict in some sense, all right? There are better times. And I'm not saying the whole month is like this. I'm saying there are moments when you might feel like this. You're not sure if it's time to bring something out into the open. Pay attention to the transits which are taking place this month, because we have a lot of factors in there. We have Mars going home to Scorpio, right? I mean, it's such a great place for Mars to be. You might wonder about people's behavior, because suddenly everybody's filled with this, drive and passion to get going, all right? But so much can be achieved, and major transformation is everywhere. I mean, and Mars does not make it to Scorpio but every 2 years. So this is a very important time frame to be utilizing that type of energy. Now, there are people, the question is, all right, say like people, and have you learned, because I'm looking at a bunch of things here, have you learned your lessons about them? All right, there's an old saying, a leopard can't change its spots, or a tiger can't change its stripes, but I think it's a leopard. But anyway, the thing of it is that while things seem different and they seem more favorable, has everyone learned their lesson? Got to remember, an eclipse season is going to highlight certain relationships, and it's going to end some, it's going to eclipse some, and this is, it is what it is. And this is coming up, even as we get to, the new moon, all right, which is a solar eclipse. And what's going on here, all right? Do we change things by coming together? I would love to see, I don't ever talk specifically, but on the world stage, I would like to see some, coming together as opposed to the conflict which has been here. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that could be coming up this month, which need to come up, which need to happen, and that, relates on a personal level as well. Wow. Jupiter. I mentioned Jupiter a few times. It's going to be, right there, sprinkling that fairy dust, bringing that optimism. I feel as though by the time we are seeing Venus make it home to Libra next month on, what is that, the 10th, the 8th of November, something like that, that you're really grabbing hold of your power, because there is something going on here. I mean, success is yours. I think I mentioned somewhere, I don't remember where it was, but the eclipse season began with a full moon in Aries. on September 29th. And I think the new moon in Scorpio, I think it's November 13th, and it comes up there. That's where the eclipse season ends. It's like 6 weeks of, eventful, changes coming in, and you're going to be busy. You are going to be busy, all right? But I think when it's all said and done, there's a lot more that's going on. Hopefully you're a lot wiser and you're feeling a lot better about things. So, and if you're still listening, I apologize for my voice. I am having a lot of trouble with it this month. It's just, it's not doing too good. Anyway, yeah, there are reasons to get together and to celebrate. There's, to say a mixed bag is, I think it's all over the place this month. There's moments which are a little crazy. Some are worrisome, but there's some really great ones too. All right, and it's what makes the world go round. But I think there are some things here which are being put into place for the long term. I mentioned Saturn at 0 degrees Pisces. It feels significant to me, more so than one might imagine. All right. If you ask me to pinpoint the turning point in the month of October, because I do feel there is some kind of a turning point here where the movement starts to go in the other direction. I don't think I could give you an exact date, but I do like the new moon, all right? And it falls right, like in the middle of the month on the 14th. So somewhere around there is possible. But there's just one thing after another. It's kind of like a day by day. Sometimes we have, half the month is this way, half the month is that way. But it doesn't feel that way. It feels like a little bit of everything, So it's like, keep your roller skates handy and, your phone charged and all that kind of stuff. Just be ready. Be ready for anything because it's exciting. It's challenging. Definitely a lot of relationship stuff coming up all over the place. But it's a little bit exhilarating too, because you might achieve, even if it's only with one situation, you might achieve, some sort of freedom from something which has been holding you back for such a very long time. So, does that mean all of life? Probably not. But one thing, boy, that'll feel good. It's just like, it has a lighter feeling to it. There's definitely some new beginnings which are in here, and an entirely new perspective. Trying to decide on a course of action, all right? Choosing new paths and things of that nature. It's not always easy, but I think by the time you're at the end of the month, it's much easier to do. All right, keep that in mind, because you get moving away from all of that Libra energy and into the more decisive Scorpio energy. So there definitely will be, changes which are coming. Wow. Just wow. And it's going to be very creative when you do it. When plans finally start to gel. All right. Here's the thing. There are those of you out there who make a plan and you never ever alter it. You're just like, yeah, I made a plan. Okay. They need to change. They need to be tweaked along the way. You need to be flexible. You need to, have plan B, C, D, Z, whatever. However many it takes until you figure it out. But the whole entire month is an eventful month. And there is so much going on. But creatively, it's like there's this spark that's there for you. It's like you're getting, I don't know what they call them, like, you're downloading the information that you need to get the job done. So, yeah. I definitely feel a nice social atmosphere, off and on, you know, not every day. There seem to be moments which, one needs to be alone, but there's a major change which is coming, especially by, I'd say like the middle of next month, alright, as we start to move toward the holidays, it really begins to change. Look at this, wow. People you didn't expect. That's the only way I could put it. Just leave those words as a thought. People you didn't expect. A person, individual, whatever. And then there's more coming. All right. It's just you're gonna look back after like mid-November, or when you get to the end of the year, whenever it is, and you're gonna go, oh my God, those last few months from the beginning of October really just like changed the course of everything. Get it out. The trajectory of all of it. It's like, but you're taking charge again. That's what's going to matter the most. And I say it's at the end of, the 6 weeks, at the end of the eclipse season. Are there sad parts? Yes. Because not everything makes it. It's just the way it is. An eclipse season brings loss. It brings sadness. Things end, which sometimes are shocking to us. And other things, it's our own decision to end them. But however it comes, what comes from it is, well, really quite nice. Okay? I want to say when you get to about the 9th, things just really start picking up the pace. You're going to be like, whoa. Life is like a whirlwind. But at the same time, and I really love this for you, because this is I'm actually at the end here, and this is what I feel is what matters. You are finding that stable base again. It's been missing for a long time, and able to build from there. Take something solid and call to you what you want. And I have said this for the last few months, getting past that Venus retrograde, and Venus having been in Leo is going to be very important. So from that point forward, once it moves into Virgo, it doesn't even matter if it likes being in Virgo, okay? The thing of it is that it's like an energy shift, which you very much need at this time. And I do feel you're going to feel it. And you're going to start to focus on what makes you feel good and the comforts that you need in your life. So there are some, like I said, Mercury, Venus, the eclipses, Mars going home to Scorpio. There's some major energy shifts here. And it's going to be a very active and, moving kind of month with many events and ups and downs. Doesn't make it a bad month. It's definitely not a boring one. So I want to thank you all very much for being here, and I'll see you again real soon. Take care.